नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। Namaste everyone. So greetings to all of you on the eve of National Youth Day that is being celebrated on January 12th all across India. January 12th is the date on which Swami Vivekananda was born. Since the year 1985, it's being celebrated officially as the National Youth Day. In the year 1984, the government of India decided to celebrate the National Youth Day on January 12th, and they felt that the ideas for which Swamiji lived could be a great source of inspiration for the youth of the country. And rightfully, January 12th is being celebrated as the National Youth Day. It is the fitting tribute to the person who had a great expectation from the Indian youth. So, Swami Vivekananda, you all know, he lived only for 39 years and he accomplished a great work in that period. So, he actually gave a route map for India for our future progress. He not only gave a map, he set up a machinery to accomplish that task. So he did it in two ways. One is that he founded the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission with a dedicated band of sannyasis who give away their all, who sacrifice themselves for the amelioration of humanity as a whole, but of India in particular. And not only Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission, there are hundreds of organizations and independent volunteers who are inspired by the life and teachings of Swami Vivekananda. Since the pre-independence days, Swami Vivekananda passed in 1902, and even he himself was alive. A lot of people had already joined him in the work that he undertook for the complete amelioration of our motherland. So Swami Vivekananda didn't believe in a superficial freedom. He wanted the freedom to be the goal of life, that is in the highest sense, but also he wanted people to be free financially, socially, spiritually, and freedom should be the watchword of life. That's the kind of freedom Swami Vivekananda wanted. And political independence was only one aspect of freedom, but the idea of freedom that the Vedanta gives us, that Swami Vivekananda made it a mission for every individual, is something much broader. It is the opening up of all the cage in which the spirit has been imprisoned. So that was Swami Vivekananda's keynote of his life, and that was the thing towards which he wanted to lead humanity and Indians in particular. So Swami Vivekananda's route map, as I referred to earlier, it was not just political independence, it is a complete independence in which every individual manifests the divinity within more and more. So he wanted an atmosphere to be created for the growth of each and every individual. And he always saw that as the path of evolution. So human beings evolved from the lowest amoeba, but this doesn't end here. So it has to reach further heights, the height to which Swami Vivekananda himself had reached, the height to which Buddha had attained to, and all these great people like Einstein and all the spiritual stalwarts. So Swami Vivekananda saw that as the goal of mankind, the goal to which every individual has to attain to, and the society has to be made conducive for the unfoldment of the divinity in each individual, so that his path towards freedom becomes smoother. So Swami Vivekananda, you can say, is the molder of modern India. We have to go back to the days in which he was going around India as an itinerant monk, in which he came face to face with the difficulties which people faced, the cultural degradation, the economical suffocation, so the political subjugation, so all the problems that India was facing that time, Swami Vivekananda stood out and he took it upon himself to deliver the country, to give it freedom. So that was Swami Vivekananda's life work. So Swami Vivekananda stands out differently from all the freedom fighters and so many social workers, in the sense that he said that most of the social reformers want, reform by parts, and I want branch and root reform. So he went into the very core of the problem so that the problem is solved forever. So Swami Vivekananda has to be seen as someone who stood at the pinnacle of evolution. So only people who have reached that height can really guide humanity, and he was definitely one of them. So Swami Vivekananda, when he came back from the United States and also the West, he had traveled to few countries, England and all. He came back from there. That was when he was actually recognized as a teacher, as a leader, as someone to whom the people of the country were looking up to. So when he came back victorious, he had conquered the world with his philosophical knowledge, with his purity, with the sincerity of his ideals. So when he came back to India, the whole country rose up to receive him. And then we see the clarion call that he gave to the country. The call that Swami Vivekananda gave to the country can be seen probably in two places. One is through the letters he wrote to his brother disciples and many of his lay disciples. And when he came to India, the lectures he gave starting from Colombo till he went to Almora. So those teachings can be seen as something that shows direction to the future of India. So Swami Vivekananda, he harmonized the Eastern philosophy, the Indian philosophy, with the Western modern science. So he wanted Indians to have extra material comforts, and also the Western people to have more religion, more philosophy into their. They wanted to bring more philosophy into their lives. And Swami Vivekananda, he had interest in every aspect of human life. So often we see a person who may be a spiritual, who may be a monk, will be interested only in meditating. But that kind of people cannot be the role model for the entire society, because the entire society is never going to sit and meditate. People are going to have different temperaments, different ways of expressing themselves. So Swami Vivekananda broadly classified humanity into four categories. So one is who is active, who keeps on doing work, one who is very emotional, and one who is meditative, and the one who is philosophical. So these were the four broad categories into which Swami Vivekananda divided the humanity in general. And so all these four categories should have an ideal, should through which they can reach the highest, through which they can come to freedom. So he also gave them the four different paths, and he called them Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, and Jnana Yoga, so that people with different temperaments can take up the path that suits them best, and knowing where they are going to end up. So the most important thing everybody should know is what is the highest peak of evolution. That's Swami Vivekananda classified as perfection, as God, as one absolute unit, one infinite. So that's where we actually have to reach, reaching which there's nothing else to attain to. So that is the highest ideal, and everybody should be given a conducive atmosphere, conducive environment through which they can come at that. That was Swami Vivekananda's primary motive, and he sacrificed himself so that people can have that clearly laid out path towards perfection. And we see during his lifetime, People like Alasinga Perumal, then the sister Nivedita and sister Christine, and then we see his own disciples, uh, Swami Kalyanananda, Swami Nishchayananda, Swami Atmananda. So the whole galaxy of them is one brother disciple, Swami Akhandananda, primarily Swami Ramakrishnanandji. So I mean, he ignited that spirit of renunciation. It's a role model, for entire humanity for eternity. So that path that Swami Vivekananda showed, the life that he lived, is ever going to be a source of inspiration for all of us. So today we recognize Swami Vivekananda's contribution to our motherland, and he himself said that it's going to take a very long time for the world to understand what contribution I have made. It's quite true, and I personally have visited lot many parts of India. I have seen how Swami Vivekananda's influence is working, bringing light onto the lives of millions of people. And if there is one source of inspiration today that is serving as the guiding light for the Indians, one which is unquestionable, one which is universally acceptable, one who gives a place for everything, one who gives hope for every individual irrespective of his social or financial status, is Swami Vivekananda's message. So we are all very fortunate that we are born in India and we have someone like Swami Vivekananda to whom we can all look up to. It is very difficult to find people like Vivekananda, and you can all verify it. Such people, I mean, we all should be very grateful to the Lord for sending Vivekananda to guide us, and today we pay our tributes to him. May his inspiration lead us forward and guide the direction of the country towards its fulfillment, the task that India has to accomplish in the scheme of nations. And he said India has to be the Jagat Guru, the nation that shows light to the world, and that responsibility to make India great, so that it can actually show direction to the world and also to the Indians themselves, lies upon the youth of the country. So it's high time the youth of India take special interest on Swami Vivekananda's life and teachings. As much as we study other sciences, they are all necessary to a certain extent. So also for the society itself, there has to be a certain guidance, certain path which it has to take, so that everybody can exist in harmony. We reduce the conflicts, we all can exist in harmony. So those things that Swami Vivekananda gives to us. So through his message, everybody can find a hope in life. And today is his 160th birth anniversary. So on this special day, obviously the government of India is going to celebrate it on a big scale. Even ourselves, wherever we are, we can spend some time reading Swami Vivekananda's teachings and having a look at the work that he has accomplished and is getting accomplished through thousands of his followers. So it's something that is driving our nation forward today. So we shall all pay our humble tributes to the great man and join that mighty wave which is carrying India forward. Thank you so much, and wish you all once again a very happy National Youth Day. Namaste.